You're right. Yeah, the law, you can't discriminate based on sex, but usually there's a lot of other factors such as where you went to school, what you studied. So yeah, I'm just trying to flush out the consistency or lack thereof here.
Yeah, I don't ever think it's men versus women. It's like masculine complements the feminine. So I think the new wave feminism, if they're talking about, hey, women are better than men, that's like the dumbest thing that you can ever say. I think women complement men, which goes back to your, draft concept.
Well, I'd like to ask you another question here. Do you think women should be barred from volunteering for the military?
No.
Well, that's interesting. They shouldn't be barred from volunteering, but they should be barred from being forced into conscription despite men being forced into potential conscription. I'm a little confused there.
What's confusing about that?
Well, why would you, if you're fine with women volunteering, why would you object to women being forced?
I feel like we made so many points on why women shouldn't be in war. Do I have to go over them again? I can.
Did you make points? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I did actually. Like, for example, a woman being sent out to war. Well, actually, let's use her example. That was one of the best ones. If we send half women, half men to war, and we lose an incredible amount of population, what would it be of the country and our workforce? Like
well,
let's assume women are the ones that are able to have one child at a time. Some occasions 2, 3, if you have twins, triplets, whatever. But one man can produce how many kids in a year? One man can repopulate a population so much quicker than a woman can.
Okay, well, let's assume the conflict we get involved in is similar to Vietnam, where it's not like we're drafting like huge swaths of the U.S. population. It's more like, I just Googled it, I think the United States military conscripted 2 million service personnel throughout the course of Vietnam War.
World War II was way more than that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we lost, 1 million from a population perspective, I don't think it would be catastrophic.
But again, those 1 million women aren't just 1 million women randomly. They're occupying special type of forces. Like, for example, teachers. How many teachers would we lose because of that?
What do you mean? We would get like 18 to 22-year-olds. They're in the middle of doing OnlyFans or college or something.
All of Isla Vista would end up being the Marines. So can I ask
if you...
Okay.
LeBron Aces donated $300. Get rid of those silly Australian headbands, twins. I have been to Australia and all their women are like them. Replace them with Jojo Leche bags.
Okay.
Charlie Cook looks like he's battling Metro Man.
Metro Man?
Anyone know what that means?
I have no idea what.
I think they're saying you look metrosexual.
Oh, really? Great.
Rude. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it, I guess.
That was so cute.
So random.
Oh, I see what happened there. Okay. All right. Where were we? I forgot.
So can I just ask a question? So if you are with your boyfriend or husband and there's a home intruder in the house, who would you expect your husband to put himself first into that situation to take care of it?
Absolutely.
Or husband, boyfriend, or male counterpart.
I know my husband and I have had this conversation multiple times. We have multiple guns in the house, and he's told me, he's like, go hide in the bathroom and hide in the closet. He's like, and I'll take care of you. And I know where the guns are, and I know how to use them, just in case he dies for some reason. Or I can, shoot and hopefully scare somebody away.
Right.
I think you were maybe in the middle of making a point. You said, well, that they would be teachers, and so that's why we shouldn't draft them.
Well, you were saying how 1 million women dying doesn't really hurt society, and I was saying that it does because women have a higher amount of, in certain roles, for example,
women's jobs are more valuable? Is that
No.
the argument you're
I'm
making?
saying a lot of women's jobs are already majority women.
Right, but I was arguing your point about you were making this point of, well, if all the women go and die to war, how are we going to repopulate? But I don't think any conflict would reduce the female population to such a degree that it would have some catastrophic if they were drafted frontline, whatever.
But we're already at.
Actually, it'd probably be good. I'm going to get canceled for this. It'd actually probably be good for the population if women got drafted, because here's what happens actually with the volunteer force of women. If they ever do face a deployment, a lot of these female soldiers just get pregnant to avoid having to be deployed.
Genius.
So it actually, this
The
is
fertility rate would
Charlie,
go up.
Hold on, Charlie. I think actually conservatives need to get on board with the female draft.
But no, you have to stay pregnant.
Charlie, I need you to commit on the whatever podcast here that you
No,
actually are in
I-
favor of the female draft, because they get drafted, right? We draft only women, and then they're gonna get pregnant so they can avoid being deployed. A lot of women do
If
that.
if
lot
there
of
is a
women do
pregnancy
that.
exemption, they still allow certain
Right, what
pregnant
if-
women to.
what if-
No, if you're pregnant, you can't be deployed.
How about like only third trimester can't get deployed, but first
I'm
and
just-
second.
look,
They
I'm
have,
just
they
saying-
have pregnancy jumpsuits, believe it or not, in the Air Force, which is just
I think this
insane.
could be a
But-
great talking
Yeah.
point for the
No, it's a real
conservative
thing.
party. Let's draft the women, and then we'll fix the population problem.
Which we have a huge
lot of women will
we have a
get
huge
a lot of
population
women get pregnant. We will have to ban abortion, and just
And then everyone's
For
going
that-
to be raised in a
okay.
single parent
Getting-
household. That's horrible.
no,
I hate
of
that.
course
I hate
they
that
get
for
married
everyone.
or something. They get married.
They get married to their husband who's deployed. Also,
Hey, why not?
everything sucks.
We'll figure it out. Anyways,
War is bad across the board.
but wait. So okay, don't draft women because then we can't repopulate. Is that kind of the argument?
Yeah, that was one of them. Yeah.
Okay, what if we only draft like 100, or excuse me, not 100, 1 million women?
Okay, so you want to put a marker on we can draft 1 million women and unlimited men. Wouldn't that also not be equal under
No,
your
just like
eyes?
say 1 million women, 1 million men, or 10 million
Okay.
women, 10 million men. That would
Okay,
be
and
equal.
And if they can prove that those 1 million women are competent and would advance the war just as much as those 1 million
Probably
men.
not, but
Exactly,
we
that's
still
my
draft
point.
them.
No, but that's my
No, but
point.
equality, we still draft them.
But wouldn't you want in a war, the people
Then
going
why
to
do we
war-
have women for the volunteer force, which you're in favor of?
Because I do believe that the women who are volunteering know that they can provide quite a bit to the war. They're not just like,
Oh, really?
well, I would assume so. Why would a woman volunteer if she's
mean-
not certain that she can provide some type of,
Well, I mean, people volunteer for all kinds of reasons. Some people do it for financial reasons. Perhaps they're coming from very low socioeconomic position. Getting into the military can be helpful in that way. Perhaps people want an experience, discipline. They want to serve their country.
That's true, but I
Sure.
don't think most women would put their lives on the line and have that be their number one option. Just volunteering just because like shits and gigs, like I want to volunteer,
Okay. Right. So I haven't really heard a compelling reason, at least from the feminist viewpoint standpoint, as to why women shouldn't be drafted.
But why would you want women to be drafted is my question as a
For-
man.
for the sake of
who
equality.
wants- yeah,
For the
but
sake
wouldn't you
of
want
equality.
your country to like do good in war, not just for the sake of equality?
What? So if I make that same argument about like the workforce, would you call that a sexist statement?
With what exactly?
Would it be a sexist statement? I'm not arguing this, but the same argument you're making about, well, wouldn't you want the best for the war effort? Couldn't you just make that argument about the volunteer force, so women can't join the military? You could say about policemen, police officers, firefighters, etc.
I'm not really catching your drift.
You said
You don't
wouldn't
want women,
the
so you're trying to
best
exclude
people?
women from other workforces is what you're asking me?
Well, you said, wouldn't you want the best people?
Yes, for the war, yeah, because
is
the
who?
war, because like if we lose the war, is that not a big deal?
That'd be a big deal.
Yes,
That'd
that's
be
what I'm
pretty
saying.
bad.
It's kind of like,
But you
let's put
could
equality to
so
the
you
side
could-
in terms of the war, because the war is really going to affect all of society, not just man or woman.
But you could even draft women into positions of, for example, not
Cyber-
frontline soldiers.
Cybersecurity.
Yeah, and if you can
And
prove
most-
that those women are competent and they can do that, then
Right.
yeah, go ahead.
That still wouldn't really be equality, but it would
It
be
wouldn't, but
closer.
that would be good,
It
yeah.
would be closer to equality. And
Exactly.
actually, most positions in the military are not frontline combat positions. So I wouldn't, so I'm just a little confused here.
What are you confused about if we just agreed on the same point? Just because I label myself as a feminist and I have the same opinion within this as someone
But
who's
it
not
seems
a
like
feminist?
when you want equality
No,
only
because
when
I've
it
made that
suits
clear.
women.
I've made that clear that I don't want it when it just suits women. I want it when it benefits society.
Well, so then you acknowledge.
Is that really hard to
so-
understand?
A little bit. So then you acknowledge that there's an inequality that's currently impacting men because men are the only sex that are required to register for the selective service.
Yeah, that's an inequality in terms of, if
Okay.
one sex has to go to war,
So
the
your
other one
solution
doesn't,
then is
not
to get
equal.
rid of the draft?
My solution to that would just be let's not go to fucking war.
Well,
that would
that's-
make shit equal.
Yeah, war bad.
But obviously
War
that's
bad.
exactly. But since that's not a realistic thing that the U.S. will do, and that's why we're just
What
continuing
if it has nothing
with,
to do with the U.S.? What if there's a belligerent force like China or Russia or something?
Okay, well, either way.
Beto
war is
Cheeks
war.
donated $300. Here is a point. Feminism should have never been brought upon society by evil men pushing women to become babyless career boss B words. In the West now, what are women currently oppressed on?
How are-
I'll
okay.
wait.
Beaton, I'll ask that later. Are you okay? So assuming we can't get rid of war, assuming there had to be a draft,
Exactly.
do you acknowledge the current inequality that exists? And
Yes,
shouldn't
you've
you as,
asked me that question
but
like
shouldn't
4
you
times, I
shouldn't
believe.
you
I
as a
said yeah.
feminist be desirous of moving towards egalitarianism and equality?
Yeah, I've made that clear. No.
can
Not in
I ask
every
it,
single
can I ask it a
aspect.
different way?
Yeah.
What would a victory for the feminist movement look like, or your view of feminism? Like what?
Oh, what's my view of feminism?
Yes, or like
Okay.
what is an injustice or something wrong in America that you would like to see remedied or cured with your view of feminism?
Okay. I can
Capitalism?
get real specific with it. I work in the healthcare field, and I see a lot of inequality within that. So that's one way where I'm a feminist, where I can see, okay, women aren't being treated the best way within the healthcare field specifically. They don't have the same rights as a man does.
Wait,
specifically.
can you elaborate on
Do you
that?
mean patients or the
Patients,
employees?
yeah.
Okay.
Wait, can you
talking about
elaborate
patients.
what you mean? Like, what is the inequality?
Patient care, a man as a patient versus a woman as a patient, very different.
Can you articulate it a little further?
Women don't have the same care as a man.
Isn't it the case that women see doctors more frequently? They get more. They're more likely to go visit a doctor.
Yeah, that's 100% the case, but that's because they're not getting adequate care. That's why they have to keep seeing new specialists, new people.
Wait. I don't think that's the reason. I think women just tend to care about our bodies, and men only care when they're on their deathbed. That's like the typical
Yeah,
reasoning.
women, like for like Medi-Cal or whatever. I don't know what it's called.
The reimbursables for women are like 7 to 1.
They're
meaning-
more likely to use.
Yeah, especially under 50 women.
But
yeah.
it's taken me like 6 months just to get a checkup. Like just
I don't think that's because you're
standard.
a woman, though.
You don't think so? Okay.
I think that. Why would it be because you're a woman?
I don't know. Maybe because women's health care is harder to get. I'm not sure. That's
So
just
you're talking
me
like your
shooting in the dark.
OBGYN? Like it's- or-
No, just
or-
primary care physician.
Why would
actually.
that? Why would that be because you're a woman, though?
It actually might be because I have shitty health care.
That
It also could be because we're just brought a couple million people from the third world into this country.
Yeah.
that.
Kind
lot
of
of
creates long lines, but that's a separate issue.
Well, could you elaborate a little further on the healthcare thing, though?
Do you want me to just keep going, listing examples?
Well, you
of-
said women have. I don't know if you said
Like-
rights. Like women have X that men don't.
Yeah, women are behind in the healthcare field. So that's something I would want to see women progress in.
Like in
That's-
nursing.
No, as a patient. I've made that clear.
Oh, as patients.
Yes.
How are they behind?
A woman doesn't get the same adequate care from her primary doctor, from her